Hello, and welcome to Retro Rank Rhapsody. This episode, the Hyrule Fantasy begins. In this episode, we are going to start taking a look at the adventure list. That is the first of the long-form lists that we're going to be taking a look at. The adventure list is basically for games in which you are given a wide kind of area that you need to kind of look or like explore in a particular action kind of way. So like action RPGs, regular RPGs, those kind of things. And if we're going to take a look at that genre, that kind of game, we might as well take a look at probably one of the more famous ones. With that, why don't we just go ahead and start, because I have a little bit of history going on in the actual video itself, or episode itself. Anyway, here we go. Yeah, the game we're going to be taking a look at is, I should say, rather famous. If we're talking action-adventure games, I figure we should probably take a look at the first Legend of Zelda. Just to give a little bit of backstory just to kind of set up where this game kind of came from. This game came out February 21st, 1986, and it was the first original title and one of the 6 launch titles for the Famicom Disk System. A new way, or an attachment to the well, I don't know if attachment's quite the right word, but basically something for the that you can plug into the Famicom that rather than play cartridges, you can play your games on discs, which at the time meant that you could have games that were much cheaper and also for the time relatively big. The size of a disc, it was a double-sided disc that was on each side could hold 64 kilobytes. Which was around the side, that was right around, at that time, was about the size of this, like, cartridges at the time. There was actually a 128 kilobyte cartridge that was released relatively soon after Legend of Zelda, and it was actually the NES release of Ghost and Goblins in Japan. But, yeah, beside that, one other thing that the Famicom Disk System had that will definitely be able to hear, especially if you are familiar with the NES sound chip, is they added an extra sound channel. Technically, it uses FM sound, which is like, if you think about something that like the Genesis would use, something that a lot of arcade systems would use, but it has a really weird, distinct sound to it. But yeah, I think that's enough background for this. The version of that I'm actually going to be using tonight is actually the original Japanese release. I think that's mainly I'm doing that because with it being the Legend of Zelda, I feel a lot of people have seen the NES release. But I think that it'd be kind of interesting to actually look at the original. So yeah, let me go ahead and launch that then. Oh, come on. Oh. And like I said, this is a Famicom Disk System release. Yeah. So, yes, this is Zelda no Densetsu, the Hyrule Fantasy. The little text underneath that said, since this was a double-sided disc, you would actually, rather than hitting start, you would actually flip take the disc out and then flip it over to the B side and then put it back in order to get to the save menu. And then here's the story. Basically, Evil Ganon took the Triforce, and Zelda. There are 3 Triforces, the Triforce of Wisdom, Triforce of Courage, Triforce of Power. Ganon has the Triforce of Power, our character Link has a Triforce of Wisdom, I think, no, Triforce of Courage. And then Zelda had the Triforce of Wisdom, broke it up into 8 pieces, and we gotta go find it.
8 units, thank you.
Yes. And then this is all the items that we can get in the game. You might notice there is actually one name change that went, and it's right there. What was known as the Book of Magic in the NES release was known as the Bible in the Japanese release.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Can't wait to help Link find Jesus.
Yeah, which is really weird considering what the Bible actually does. So,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and flip.
I mean, I still love that the flute is called a recorder. It's great.
Omachi, kudasai.
It's an insult to all flautists everywhere.
One kind of downside of the disc was the fact that as a disc, it needed to load, so this game will actually have some loading times. And basically, this is, if you've played the NES version, it has the exact same kind of things. You got 3 save slots. You can, that's a Namai Toroku, which is basically register name. And I always love that a lot of Japanese Nintendo games that have save systems refer to their race mode as kill mode.
Murder!
The ultimate solution.
Murder this man!
Also, I have prepared a save slot. This doesn't have anything in it, so we'll be starting from the beginning. Also, if you were curious, that does say Rolo de Pazaro.
Nice.
You fucking
Of
goof.
course.
Okay.
Gotta stay on brand.
So, infamously, this says, this is one of the more infamous screens on the English version. It would say, "It's dangerous to go alone. Take this," which is actually relatively close to what this says. From what I remember, it's saying, it said something along the lines of, "To go alone out there is dangerous. I'll give you this." So basically the same thing. Okay, so now that we have a sword, your sword's always going to be in the A slot. And also, yeah, that corresponds to buttons A and B. If you have full health, you can shoot a sword. Unlike other later versions of the game that have a sword beam, this sword beam is actually at full power. Because normally when you have the sword beam, it does half power, like especially Link to the Past, I know does that. I think a couple later ones that have sword beam do that.
And the sound effect is vastly different.
Yes. A lot of the sound effects are going to be vastly different.
Can you hit an enemy with like the diagonal like beam effects or no, never.
What do you mean by diagonal? Oh, the little
Like-
splash? No,
Yeah.
that's just a graphic. That's just an effect.
Okay.
Okay, so I am very familiar with this game, so I will be. I pretty much know where pretty much everything is, especially in this particular run of the game. Also, just to show off an interesting glitch with this. Okay, so this is level 1. As you can see, we need to go find a key. However, if you go back out,
The load.
yeah.
I hate you.
If we go back in, after going out, the door's unlocked. Okay. So all the dungeons in the game are based on animal shapes. I don't know exactly why that glitch happens, but it does. This is the eagle dungeon. Actually, I shouldn't say animals because there are some that are not shaped like animals, as we will see once we get to the second and third stages or levels.
Yes.
Aren't these things referenced in Breath of the Wild from the original?
I would not be surprised.
Yeah, it probably is.
I'm sorry, but all I could think of when I saw the skeleton with the key is he had a skeleton.
One funny thing about, because sometimes there will be items that are, like, you can see that, oh, this enemy's carrying an item. You can also get the item, by just ramming into the enemy.
You just mug them.
Which is actually kind of funny, because, so this was one of the first games to get a randomizer. And one of the things it randomizes is that any item can appear inside of an enemy, including the Triforce, which is normally the end of level thing. So you just ram into the enemy and it doesn't matter because you get a full heal after it. Yes, so, earlier I picked up a bunch of bombs from an enemy. One of the main uses of bombs, you can use it as an attack, but you can also blow holes open in certain walls. Okay, so every dungeon has a map and a compass. The map will give you the little layout in the top left. The compass will tell you where the Triforce is. So that'll tell you kind of roughly where the end of the level is, where you kind of need to go.
You just enter a room with a key skeleton. Just says, "Welcome to the Bone Zone."
Pretty much.
Then you leave forever. Just turn off the game. Tear it out and huck it out a fucking window.
Okay. One other thing that is found in every level, except for with the exceptions of level 1 and 8, is obviously the thing that Zelda's known for, which is the item that you find in the dungeon. This doesn't quite go into the thing that later Zelda games do, where every dungeon has like a particular item that you use to beat the dungeon. Normally these items are just like, oh hey, I found it, that's neat.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because rarely do you need an item to beat a dungeon, aside from, like, a small handful of utility items.
Also, which is actually kind of weird, because, so I just got the bow. The bow is actually one of the most important items in the game, because it is actually required in order to beat the game.
Yes.
Okay, so...
was this game that had the poverty bow?
Yes. Speaking of that, actually, so this guy right here, in the U.S., I should say Western release, he actually said something along the lines of "Easternmost Peninsula is the secret," which is complete nonsense because that doesn't make it like meaning. It doesn't reference anything. However, in this version, he is saying, "Without money," or it's let's see. I actually have a book right next to me, which is the Legend of the Localization of Zelda 1. It's a book that, there's a translator by the name of Clyde Mandolin. He's known as Tomato. He runs a website called Legend of the Localization. And he went into a really in-depth of this version of the game. And I have the book version of it right next to me. Let's see if I can find where it is. Here it is. You can't use arrows if you run out of money. Which references exactly what Torpo was talking about. One thing you don't see is an arrow counter. That is because each arrow costs 1 rupee. Yes, actually, yes, it is that Clive Mandolin, who is more famous for the Mother translation, or Mother 3 translation. Okay, hopefully I do not die. Go, and here's another famous item, the boomerang. Also these guys, these are wall masters. If they touch you, you go back to the beginning of the level. Evil
enemies.
Okay. Okay, so here's the first boss, the Aquamentus. It's relatively simple. Shoot until it dies. It's a lot easier if you have a weapon that has range. But yes. Alright, here's the first Triforce. Yep, whenever you get a Triforce, you get a full heal and you get taken out of the level. Okay, so now that we've done that, we can actually do a little bit of exploring. Because as you can imagine, this being a Zelda game, there's a lot to do in the overworld. I have 50 rupees, which unfortunately I need to get 60 so that I can get the candle, which is useful for two reasons. One, if you go into there are certain rooms and dungeons that are completely pitch black, which you can only like use a candle to light up. But also you can burn certain bushes on the overworld in order to unveil secrets. Okay. Now that I have bombs, I believe it's this one. Yep. Okay, so certain rooms, if you find them, will be this. You can either get a red potion or a heart container. If you are not an idiot, you will grab a heart container. Because you can buy potions at some point. Why would you just pick one up when you can get a heart container? Heart containers are not only important to, well, obviously you get more health, which means you survive longer. However, the amount of hearts you have also determines what kind of sword you can have. Because there are 2 extra swords you can find. One is the white sword, which I can now actually go get. You need to have 5 hearts in order to have the guy let you pick it up. And the magical sword, which requires, I believe, 12.
There we go. That's the thing I was trying to remember that was big reference in Breath of the Wild to this game.
Also, this particular goblin, or moblin, I should say, it's a secret to everyone moblin, because that's what it says in the English version. In this version, it says something along the lines, or it's actually supposed to translate into, please keep this a secret from everyone, or let's see. Now keep this a secret from everyone. Basically, he's trying to buy you off. And also I think there's a prototype of this game, this particular version of the game floating around. That I think he actually says something along the lines of, please, I'll give you this money if you please leave me alone, or something like that. Please don't kill me. I'll give you money.
Damn, that is super fucked up, Link. Why would you threaten these people? It's not okay.
We know Link is a murder hobo.
Also, while I'm
Link's
here...
just a fucking idiot.
Okay, so while I'm here, actually, speaking of red potion... Okay. Basically, show this to the old woman and see what happens, is basically what that guy is saying. This is the letter, which occasionally we will come across old women that when we walk into their room, they basically just say nothing. However, you give them a letter. If you give them a letter, something will happen.
Also, give these ladies a letter of introduction.
Also, just to show it off, I think it's here. Yep.
Damn, you're good.
Okay. So, if you didn't notice that, I just lost money. Basically, says something along the lines of, please play for the door that you just broke. Let me see if I can find it real quick. In the NES, it says, pay me for the door repair charge. Or he is saying, I'll be taking your money for the door repair. Also, another kind of famous room. Let's play money-making game. However, at least that's what it says in the English version. It says something like... Want to play a game where you can increase your money? It's roughly what that's saying. So yeah, basically, it costs 10 rupees to pay. You take one, and something can happen. The thing is, so if I would have grabbed this one, I would have gotten plus 50 instead of losing 10. However, there's also, this gets randomized every time you go in. One of the things that can actually happen is you can lose up to 40 rupees. So, yeah. Also, if you were to say play this in an emulator or a way that you can save state, if you find out what rupee or what thing has the rupee, when you find out what it is, you can just load the state and go back into it, and it stays the same, providing you stay in the room. Okay, now that I have that amount of money,
That's a lot more money than I think you won in the NES version.
there is a very specific cap of the amount of money, which we will see once we get to it, because I'm actually relatively close to it. Oh, it's this one. So here's the room with the old lady. So if I go do this, hit the letter. This is the potion merchant. The blue potion will heal all of your health and then go away. The red potion will heal all of your health and then turn into a blue potion. So you get two. It's basically, do you want a potion with 2 charges, or 1 charge, or 2 charges? So one odd thing that I guess if you have a blue potion and you got enough money to, like, you want to get a red potion but don't want to spend all this for just a red potion, you could actually, if you have a blue potion, you can buy another blue potion to make it a red potion. Okay, now what is in the shop? Okay, so yeah. One big difference between this game, I can't remember if actually Breath of the Wild is like this, but actually I'm pretty sure it is, where keys are not level exclusive. As you can see that I have 2 keys on my person, so it goes from level to, like, basically keys are universal, and you can actually buy more if you for some reason can't find them. You normally don't need to buy keys, but in case you get stuck, they give you the option. The magical shield.
Nice.
The magical shield is nice to get. However, you don't want to spend this amount of money because you can actually get it cheaper in other shops. Basically, what the magical shield does is block. So with the shield that I have now, I can't block certain projectiles, namely Zora shots and magic shots that Wizard's fire. That shield will let me block it. What we really want is this. The blue candle. Okay, so I think it's this one. So yeah, these enemies are Armos Knights. Oh god, they're also kicking my ass. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't need what's in there, because I think that's just a hint. What I do want to do, go over here. And then go up here. Also, by the way, I should mention, this particular room, there are two, I guess rooms might be the way to call it, 2 rooms like this in the game, where if you go any direction, except for one, you'll get stuck. So this is actually kind of a Lost Woods kind of scenario, where you have to go in a particular pattern to get out of this area. But that's not, we don't have to deal with that particular one right now, we just need to go left. Okay, so this guy is a prick. That is a Lionel, which if you've played Breath of the Wild, you are probably very familiar with.
Those fuckers.
Yeah, there also are...
They made them just as big of fuckers as they are in the NES version.
Okay, also just to show what happens when you die, retry is basically quit without saving, so we're not going to do that. So this kind of shows its age a little bit. Whenever you die, you only start with 3 hearts. Also, you start over here. But now that I have... This actually gives me an opportunity to get some stuff, so this is actually kind of nice. I think it's right here.
It was all a speedrun strat, you see.
And there's a 30. Yeah, because if whoop. I didn't mean to do that, but oh well. Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, the Lionel shot, yeah, that does 2 hearts of damage. So, that's no joke. Also, here's what the candle does. You burn that bush, go in here, there's some money.
Just imagine if you didn't know where all those were. You spend like 2 hours burning every bush.
Yeah, and right here I happen to know that it is 6 bushes from the right. That's, I think that's 5. That's actually 5. Never mind.
Yeah, it's 5.
Here's another heart container.
Also, a thing I noticed about the Zoras is they don't have an outline like they do in the NES version.
Yeah, that is one other kind of a smaller change, is that the Zora sprite's a lot more detailed. So here's where you want to buy the shield, because you can get it for 90.
Or you could buy meat.
We don't need to buy meat yet. We will need to buy meat, but not yet.
Right.
Okay.
It's so weird seeing the sword beam just heavy from the start.
Yeah. Also, if any, yeah, also, yeah, because you can have it with any bow, or any sword. Oh, we don't need to go down here yet. Oh. So one thing that actually, is kind of weird about the way that enemies, like, so the enemy drops are not, there's a table that you can look up to find out what enemies are going to drop. There is a really good Zelda resource that is redcandle.us that gives you a lot of technical details with how this game works. Yeah. There is one particular group of enemies that are the only ones that can drop bombs. Also, this screen right here, this is the other Lost Woods kind of screen. Okay, pretty close.
I can't believe you going into people's homes and mugging them.
I'm trying
Yes,
to
you fucking can.
I'm trying to get to the level caps just so that I can get oh, what was I gonna say? I can get, there's a particular item that I'm trying to get now. Which I need to save quite a bit for. So just show these off. Occasionally there are rooms that, there are fairy rooms. They fully heal you. Damn it. Okay, let's see what... I believe this is a shop. Yes. So yes. You need to buy the arrows in order to use them. I don't need to have them quite yet, so I won't quite buy them.
How dare you, you cheap piece of shit.
You have to buy the arrows, and they cost money to use.
Yes.
Look, you gotta spend money to spend money. Wait, fuck.
Truly, this is the darkest timeline.
Look,
Actually, I think it is because I believe that this game, this particular game, takes place because, you know, of the whole split timeline thing. I believe that this is in the hero dies timeline.
I believe so too.
I actually want to say it's actually one of the last ones in that timeline too.
I thought it was one of the first ones in that timeline. Let me look up the timeline. Where are you at? Hyrule Historia.
I have it on my shelf. I could go get it.
I could turn on my fucking Wii U right now, alright, buddy?
Okay, where is...
I have that shit baked in because I have a special Wind Waker Wii U.
Oh, they actually give that to you? In that version?
Has it baked in.
Huh. I think if I go up here...
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know, it's great. Also, I'm gonna break this fucker out eventually anyway.
I mean, it's also great because, okay, here's the cap. It is a very particular cap. If you are familiar with the powers of 2 and how important they are to computers. The cap is 255, which is the highest 8-bit number with -1.
They only assign a single bit to money.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, why would they need to otherwise? All the values are fairly low.
So, yeah.
I understand. It's just out of just, you know, one of those things.
Yeah, there isn't a whole lot because there are other yeah. So also now if I get a rupee, it just is completely meaningless.
Just falls out of his pocket.
Okay, so now that I have that, I can go in here and get that. That is, well, exactly what it looks like. It's the blue ring. So the blue ring is very nice to have. It will decrease your damage that you take in half.
So this is actually the second to last in the Heroes Defeated timeline.
That's what I thought, because I think Zelda 2 is the last one.
Correct.
Also, we turn white, little bit bluish.
Almost light purple.
God damn it. Okay, so now that I have this, I can actually go and do... I think that this is kind of most of the overworld stuff that I need to do, because then I can just go straight and do the levels.
I still hate that Twilight Princess is the second to last in its timeline, with the last being Four Swords Adventures.
What?
Amazing.
Yeah,
Talk
no,
about mood change.
Okay, yeah, because the split is at Ocarina of Time, and after Ocarina of Time, the Child era, which is basically the child's version of Hey, Link Stays Behind, turns into Majora's Mask, first off.
Yeah.
And then we transitioned over to Twilight Princess, and then Four Swords Adventures capping it off.
Is it Minish Cap also in that timeline too? Or is Minish Cap before the split?
Minish Cap is before the split, because Minish Cap is a fairly early one in the timeline. It is actually the second.
Jeez.
I wonder how arbitrary...
Oh, incredibly!
Oh, it's super arbitrary.
It is ham-fisted as fuck, my friend!
Yeah, it's... yeah. Just why...
It was a series that was never meant to have one.
Which normally I would be like, okay, let's not talk about the plot, but the Zelda plot doesn't make any sense.
No, well, because the thing is, it's like they clearly didn't have one in mind initially, but then they started throwing it together when people started asking.
Also, yeah, because that's actually one thing that I could actually bring up now that I have the shield. If you take a look at the shield, that is most definitely a cross.
Yes.
Miyamoto has gone on record and said that basically this was more meant to be like a traditional, like European, like kind of. Not, I wouldn't say mythology, but yeah, like Christianity was a thing in Hyrule originally. Okay,
Just
so
where were you when the Hylians believed in Jesus?
So here is the White Sword. The guy is basically saying in the Western version, says, master using this and you can have it. Is... Okay, yeah, master using it and you can have this. That is actually basically exactly what it says in the Japanese version as well. So, if I did not have 5 hearts, or 5 maximum hearts, I would basically just walk through the sword. But now that I have 6 hearts, I just pick it up, and now my attack power is doubled. Okay, and now that I have this, I can now definitely do some levels.
Isn't there a secret behind the waterfall?
I think that's just a hint shop, because there are basically rooms they can go into that are quote-unquote shops that if you give them money, they'll give you hints. Which is great because a lot of them are like everything, you have 3 options. If you give them the lowest option, they basically say, that ain't enough. And the last option that says, boy, you're rich. It doesn't say anything else. So you need to pick the middle option in order to get whatever the hint is.
A valuable lesson in cost assessment.
Also, speaking of the shops, one little minor detail that is kind of hard to actually do in a translation. They kind of do it. But all the shopkeepers in this game speak of a Kansai dialect. So you can actually see that in their dialogue. Which, if you're not familiar with the Kansai dialect, it is basically a regional dialect in Japan. Primarily, it's Osaka, it's, I was trying to think about what the area in Yakuza that is in the Kansai region. Or particularly Yakuza 0.
Basically, people equate it to Southern American dialect.
That's actually the thing. It's I've seen it. Southern is the most common, which is actually what the kind of what the English version uses. But I've also seen it as a New York translation or dialect.
Okay.
Okay.
If you are the manga version of Azumanga Daioh.
Because I always, like, saw it as more of that Hicks kind of thing, that sort of...
Yeah, that's how I've always seen it.
I have also heard it referred to as a shady businessman kind of thing as well.
Okay. And that would be a Jersey accent, then.
Yeah.
Which I guess where they got the New York kind of thing.
That or Boston.
So
never trust them with the Boston accent.
I don't think I mentioned it in the first level, but the first level is the eagle level. This is the moon level.
Oh, my favorite animal.
Yeah, which is why I'm like, oh wait, these are all animals. Which will be especially potent, or especially apparent once we get to the 3rd level. Which is something that I'm surprised was not changed. Although, in real essence, it's actually not as bad as it originally looks. But we'll get to that once we finish, or once we get to that. You just saw what it is, didn't you?
No, I know what one you're talking about, though.
Yes. Yes.
I know exactly what one.
Okay. Also, that's a thing. Occasionally there are rooms in which, if you defeat a certain enemy, they all disappear. One thing about this level that's kind of nice is the fact that this is basically a level that is really good to get a kind of a surplus of keys, because there's actually not a lot of rooms that not a lot of those key doors you can actually get into the rooms via other methods.
Just welcome to hell.
Okay, now that we've defeated that, we get the magical boomerang, which is the boomerang, except it has longer range.
Damn.
Because here's the thing you can do with that. Yep, it's moon. Also, one other thing, a room that we're not going to see, but basically, there is a room that if you, I believe it's that bottom right room. If you go into it, there's a guy that basically says, Dodongo dislikes smoke. Which you would think is actually thinking about one particular thing, but it's actually referring to a really obscure way to defeat an enemy. Oh, actually, it's right here. What is that? What was it? Dodongo, what was it? Kimui? Or Kemu? Basically, it's Dodongo dislikes smoke. I'm very rusty on my katakana.
Can't wait for Link to take up a smoking habit.
Yeah. So the Dodongo is actually the boss of this level. Which is, this game has the thing, where, that some games do, where, you find an enemy as a boss, and then that just becomes a normal enemy in later dungeons. Oh, so you can barely hear it, but there's a boss roar going on. Okay. And then we go in here.
Time for Link to take out his sweet vapor egg.
Okay, so that is a Dodongo. There are two ways to defeat the Dodongo. The first method is the way that most people, it's the most common way of defeating it. Where if I place a bomb and it walks over it, it will try and eat it. And then it doesn't like that. And if you do that twice, you'll kill it. However, what that Dodongo dislikes smoke hint was referring to was another way of killing it. Which I'm going to try and do.
It's time to take out his baggie of weed and roll a fat doobie.
So... okay, so there's that. There. If you lay down a bomb and let it walk into it when the smoke or the explosion animation is going off, it will get stunned. And if you hit it with your sword, it will instantly kill it, and it will always drop more bombs. And yeah, this is probably the easiest dungeon in the game. Loading. Also, technically you can do any of the dungeons in any order. However, as you could probably expect, you'd probably want to do them in the order they, kind of prescribe, because it does have a relatively normal difficulty curve. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother with that. Actually, that little bush that was in the middle of the path, that is actually where level 8 is. I don't have enough for it.
God, the PlayStation shit, this is nonsense.
Let's see, do I... Nope.
I appreciate the sort of lack of direction that this game has, but also, it's kind of a hot mess of placement of a lot of things.
Yeah, that is one kind of thing I liked about Breath of the Wild, with it being basically reminding me a lot of this game. But I can definitely see why that might actually turn some people off. Okay, I'm trying to think. So I've beaten 2 levels. So.
Well, it's not even just that. It's just because of how things are sort of placed and hidden all over the place. And just the sheer amount of trial and error you need to figure it out for yourself is very off-putting to me.
Yeah. This is definitely a game that they probably sold a lot of subscriptions to Nintendo Power for this game. Although this came out in 87, which I don't know if Nintendo Power is actually out.
Let me check.
I was gonna say that I know that the first cover of Nintendo Power was Super Mario Brothers 2.
Let's see. First issue was 88.
Okay, so it would have been, yeah, it would have been the year after this. Okay, let's see. Alright, so go in here, and here's level 3. Also there's a weird glitch with level 3. If you might be able to tell it if you're, well, actually it's, if you're not, what was that?
So just show off the glitch.
You can see it right here. For some reason, Link's sprite, his skin is a lot brighter than normal.
The whitest Link.
Although that is probably most definitely palette reasons. Also, I should mention that these enemies right here, if I did not have the white sword, when I would hit them, they would turn into 2 of those smaller little blob things. Which I believe, because I believe those are gels, and I believe the smaller ones are... No, the smaller ones are called gels, and those are called zols, I believe?
That's dumb.
Also these guys.
These guys who have the weirdest fucking bullshit surrounding them.
Yeah, so I can't hit them from the front. Oh god, what is...
Because, like, I remember seeing, like, this chart about how you can hurt them.
That's what I was about to...
fucking bizarre.
That is mostly with the bombs, because basically what it is that, if I do it like that, how a dark nut, and those are dark nuts, by the way, it's determined whether or not a dark nut is hurt by an explosion or not, is determined the direction that you were facing when you place the bomb, not when it explodes. I think I go here and then here.
It's a really good noise.
Yes. Okay, go over here. Oh, these guys. So those are bubbles. Yeah, kind of, I guess? Also, I should say that the bomb is actually one of the most powerful, as you could probably imagine with it being a bomb, is actually one of the most powerful weapons. There's technically 3 different categories of damage. Well, technically 4 if you count the boomerang with it only being able to stun. However, if an enemy has low enough health, basically, there are some enemies in the game that the game actually technically counts as having 0 HP. If the enemy has 0 HP and he gets hit by a boomerang, it will kill it, rather than stun it. This room sucks. Also another thing about the bomb explosion thing with Dark Nuts. Sometimes it'll look like as if they take damage, but they don't.
But yeah, like, so if you wanted to catch Dark Nut with your bomb and it was chasing you, you'd have to face away from it, drop the bomb, and wait for them to cross over it.
Alright, so...
It's really strange.
The raft. The raft is only necessary to get to 2 particular locations. However, they're both really nice to go to because one is level 4 and the other one is a heart container.
I also noticed that the palette on the items matches your tunic palette.
Yes. Oh yeah. You can. Yeah, you can see it by the bowstring. Also, you can see it. If I had the normal arrows, you can also tell by that.
And like the strings on the raft.
So when are we gonna find the map, damn it?
Right here. Yeah. This is a
So it makes
Manji
sense that
dungeon.
it gets wider.
Oh my god.
This is a Manji, not a swastika. It is the arms are in the opposite
Orientation is
direction.
different, yes.
Yeah, so if you are not familiar with what this symbol actually they were probably referencing, this is very much the Manji is very much a Buddhist symbol. In fact, if you
symbol for peace.
yeah, if you go to Japan and look at a map, you will normally see a Manji on it to denote where a Buddhist temple is. Also, I don't think I mentioned it, but bubbles, when they hit you, basically they temporarily make it so that you can't use your sword.
Fuck your day up.
Also, this this boss has the best name ever. This is the Manhandla. Also, one thing that's weird about this is that if you, in the Japanese manual, it is referred to that this is basically a creature that has 4 pekun plants surrounding it. Which, if you are not familiar with Japanese names for Mario enemies, those are meant to be piranha plants.
So, Mario is canon to the Zelda universe.
Yeah, and you thought that was the first in Link's Awakening.
Look,
No,
I
they're-
just appreciate that they brought the Manhandla back for Hyrule Warriors.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there's also another, and I think Octoroks are also referred to as they are like a different species than the arena in Cuckoo Land of all things. Okay, now that I can go to level 4. I can. Also, that little green thing right over here, that is a raft launching spot.
It's a dock. They call them docks.
I mean, it
I
is
guess.
technically a point where you can launch the raft off of.
Okay.
This is a really good color palette.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes. The color of puke.
It is really just a lovely vomit color, isn't it? God,
Okay,
this
so these guys.
ugly.
Those are Vires, and they basically do what the Zols did. If I would need a magical sword or the magical sword in order to kill them without like having them turn into 2 keys. Okay, so here's Dark Room. Also, since I haven't shown it off, one weird thing about the candle is that when you, particularly the blue candle, when you use it once, you cannot use it anymore on that screen. Which, I mean, it does its purpose, but that is kind of weird.
It's only annoying if you're on the overworld searching for secret bushes.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, I think this is... Ah! Can't do anything about that, so let's go right. God damn it.
Nice. This is real good.
So also I should mention that the bubble only disables your sword. It does not disable item usage.
Please, Max, this is not a red candle. Thank you.
Also, I believe this is the first time that this particular enemy appears, but those stack of pancakes are assholes.
Likes are the worst.
Yes, those are likes. Basically what they do, and it's also particularly dickish that they have bubbles in here. If I were to touch one, it would attempt to eat me. And basically while it is trying to eat me, I will take like a half heart of damage every second, I think. However, that's not the worst thing about it. The worst thing about likes are that if you are being eaten by them, I think for like if they hit you twice, they will destroy your magical shield.
Gotta buy a new one.
Yes. Also, the item that I just got is the stepladder, which is very, very handy to have. Also means that we can now do practically every dungeon in the game now. There are some... Also, this is what stepladder does. We can now walk over one tile of water.
I mean, I more appreciate that they love the like so much that they brought it back for later games.
Yep.
And that
They didn't bring
particular
back these
assholes.
weird bat fuckers, but they brought
Yeah.
back the like.
You know, looking at it, that almost looks like the first tutorial boss in Demon Souls.
Oh my fucking god, it's nowhere near chubby enough.
It also doesn't try and kill you with its ass.
I mean, it's
What
only
an
8-bit,
ass
you
it
can't really tell.
I suppose.
Just like Nintendo, please, I need to look at the proper sprite sheets. I need, show me the concept art.
Oh.
I need to see its ass.
And like, in later Zelda games, the likes, they will also eat your clothes as well.
God damn it.
It's fine though, because Ocarina of Time is overrated anyway.
Up, up. That's unfortunate. There we go.
Heaven
Oh.
forbid you have to fight it legit.
Let's see. I believe this is just saying, hey, there's a, was it Daki no Naka? I believe that is saying something about, well, I can actually look it up. 1 second.
In Japan, it's called Doki Doki Panic.
That's not quite it.
Damn it.
Alright, where is it? In the NER's release in Old Man Level 4 it says, walk into the waterfall. He says the same thing in Japanese. This is such a simple bare bones Japanese 101 line that it'd almost be impossible to mess up. So yeah, that's where it's saying, oh hey, you can walk into that waterfall.
Just oh hey, you'd be a fucking idiot to fuck up this translation.
Yes. Oh, god damn it.
Nice job.
Oh, this is gonna suck. This particular boss fight's not fun.
I do appreciate though hearing the boss noises outside of the boss room.
Okay, this is a Gleeok. Multi-headed dragon that basically tries and shoots magic shots at you that you cannot dodge no matter what shield you have or block. Okay. And once you defeat a head...
I appreciate low-rank King Ghidorah.
There we go.
Because let's be real, that's what it is.
Pretty much. Okay. Yep, also 1 second, I just need to do this. Okay. Also, one fun thing about if you don't have the shield, you can easily get hit by that Zora Blast and get knocked back into the raft or the dock, and have to go back and forth again.
That's funny though.
Okay. So there's a little bit more overworld stuff that we can do now, because I now have everything I need to get the best sword in the game. Well, not quite yet, but I can get it. Because I still need 2 heart containers, and they're right over here. Also in certain releases of this Famicom Disk System release, there's a glitch that you can do that you can actually get that heart container over and over again depending upon how many levels you've beaten. By basically using an item that I will get next level. Okay, so now I have enough hearts to get the magical sword.
Finally.
After all these years.
Fucking took you long enough.
Nice save.
Okay. Yes, there are 5 overworld hearts that you can get. Okay, now if we go over here. I believe that... Let's see, is it a... Oh, I don't have any bombs, never mind. So on my way to get the magical sword, also there's going to be Lionels everywhere around here. There is an item that you can get. And it's right here. The Power Bracelet. The Power Bracelet serves exactly one purpose. And this is what it serves. This is a basically a fast travel. If I were to go to one of those stairs, it would basically take me to another place on the overworld. Okay, and here's the magical sword. My attack power is now doubled again. So, yeah, 4 times the power of the wooden sword.
No Master Sword here.
Yep, Master Sword wasn't for another 2 games. So yes, I am sure that I have the right ROM. Okay, now it's time to play the fun game about using this fast travel is which one's the right one? Ah, I did guess the right one, because there's no indicator about where it actually will take you.
Great.
Okay, so this particular room, this is actually how you have to get to level 5. And once you go up 4 times, go here. I must have hit the wrong button.
God damn it!
What?
Basically, I tapped the thing to actually flip it on, yeah. Yeah, so this is level 5.
I love this sickly green dungeon.
Yes. So one fun thing about this particular level is that it introduces a very interesting enemy. These are Pulse voices. Yeah, so
Just scream.
if you go into or if there's a particular person, I forgot what level it's in, but he gives you a hint. Pulse voices hate noise. In the they have that in the English release. The thing is, in the English release, it makes no sense because it's not like it doesn't have the recorder. The recorder doesn't do anything against them. However, remember, the Japanese Famicom has a microphone in its second controller port. So if you yell, or simulate yelling, they'll die.
What a difficult enemy.
Yeah, they did change it so that in the Western version, you can use arrows to instantly kill them.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go over here. So actually I think... Oh, that's not a bomb.
Oh hey, it's you boys.
Yep, those Gibdos. They take a lot of damage, and I'm just going to oh god. Yeah, blue Dark Nuts suck.
Welcome to hell.
Because they're basically like normal Dark Nuts, except red Dark Nuts, except they are twice as fast, do twice as much damage, and yeah.
Do they have more health?
Yes.
Just all around. Bigger assholes.
As if the first wasn't enough of a dick.
Also, it is pretty easy to tell that they have 0 AI. They will just walk around completely randomly.
You know how many bites AI takes? Come on.
Okay, so... going over here...
Sure, there's good shit here.
Yeah, I have seen the weird dual Link to the Past Super Metroid hybrid thing, nightmare demon creature thing. But yeah, unfortunately, it sounds like it doesn't. It's basically its logic kind of for actually creating it isn't fully friendly yet. In that it still requires glitches and all that in order to do. So. I'm going to wait until see if they can fix that because I don't want to have to deal with that in Super Metroid.
It's almost like it's the kind of thing that people only talk about because of the novelty of it.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that was the recorder. The recorder has two uses, one that is very important to this level, and one that we will only be able to see on the overworld. Also, I like the, oh hey, this room looks completely empty, but if we go over here...
Ugh. Oh my god.
So normally, I mean, so what this guy is basically saying is, I bet you'd like to have more bombs. Pay 100, and our bomb cap has been increased.
Oh.
So now we can carry up to 12. So basically acting like a bomb bag. Okay, so now that we've done that part of the level, we can actually go to the exit.
And it's still not exactly helping your case, Google.
I mean, yeah, because it's...
It's speedrun tech. It's still something your average asshole's not gonna know or care about.
Yeah. I just want something...
It only works for a specialized set of people.
Okay. Oh, there's some Ndongos. We don't actually need to kill them.
Look at these losers.
Let's see. There. There's a fun thing is that it's actually technically to get stuck in a room due to the clock if you are in one very special circumstance, which I actually can't remember if you can get into. But if you were to, because the clock will freeze enemies in place, including wall masters. So if you kill a wall master, get a clock, and there's still wall masters that haven't spawned yet, they will never spawn.
What a tough enemy.
There.
Why do you just refuse to use the candle?
Oop. Because I know where the exit is. That was later.
I mean, also my opinion on things like that randomizer should be taken with a grain of salt, because I don't care for either of the games involved, and I just don't care for randomizers.
Okay, so here's the boss of the level. This is a dig dogger.
It's a jerk.
And to kill the dig dog, you gotta do this. Yeah.
What
Also,
a
if you're-
boss fight.
If you're used to the NES version, the flute also probably sounds a lot different.
Yes.
Okay, but now play My Heart Will Go On.
I can't.
Hey, man.
So here is the other use of the flute, or the recorder.
There's actually one more use for it.
Wait, what? Oh, right, that's right, there's 3 uses for it, but we'll get to that next level.
It's fast travel to other dungeons.
Yep, so it will take you to dungeons that you have already beaten. Also, I like the fact that I did that so I can take fast travel to get to another fast travel point. Also, I bet you this isn't even the fastest way of getting to where I want to go. Okay, so let's do this. Man, I'm getting good at actually picking the one I need to go. Okay, so I'll do it without... I probably normally should get a potion before doing this level, but... screw it. Here comes level 6, which is probably the hardest dungeon in the game. There is one very specific reason why it's the hardest dungeon in the game. These guys. Those are Wizrobes.
Damn wizards.
So the thing about these red Wizrobes, it's actually kind of weird. They actually have the strongest attack in the entire game. Without a blue ring, getting hit by a red Wizrobe takes 4 hearts of damage. God damn it. Oh, there we go. But the thing with the red Wizrobes is that they're predictable. So they're not that big of a deal, but if you get caught off guard by one, they do a lot of damage. Okay, let's do this. Okay, and then here. And then, yeah, here's the part where it gets... It's these guys that suck. Blue Wizard.
Walk around, they teleport.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
Yeah.
I heard you want to fucking die.
Yeah.
They don't even ease you into the blue wizards, they just throw you in a room full of likes, bubbles, and red ones.
I just realized I boned myself. Because I need to buy an item.
What item?
I was about to say, almost the new shield. I need to buy the arrows.
Oh man, sure is a shame you didn't buy them earlier, you fucker.
Let's go out.
God fucking damn it, Lola.
There is actually a way that you could actually get to the save, continue, retry screen, like on demand. Basically, if you go to the item menu and then hit up and A on the second controller. Okay, let's... Maybe I'll get lucky. And... Come on. Damn. I can make this work. Good. Then if I go right here, it pays to have this game memorized like the back of your hand.
No shit.
Go here, there should be a gambling spot. Let's do some time saving. Nope. Not giving me the 51.
Cheating sack of shit.
Go. That should be enough. Okay, so let's go over here. Here.
Man, sure is a shame you didn't buy it earlier.
Also, I just realized I'm gonna have to buy the meat after this.
Tasty, tasty meat.
Okay.
Have we achieved a croissant yet?
Yeah, we got the croissant.
Okay, but... A delicious croissant. That will never be as powerful as the moldy croissant.
We can't get the yeah, we're not doing the randomizer, so we can...
I missed the adventure of Torpo the Merchant.
That's right. We're gonna have to take a look at that, because that'll fall under the adaptation slot.
Like, this is one of the few games I can stand to see a randomizer of just because it lends itself so incredibly well to it.
Yeah. Of the games that I've seen randomizers of, this is the one that I've had the best experience with. Mainly because it's not... I'm still reeling of the fact that someone made a Magic of Scheherazade randomizer.
Yeah, if you ever touch it, I will fucking destroy you.
I am not gonna play that game randomized.
Especially because it made stat changes that look terrible.
Yeah, it made all the enemies do more damage. God damn, I have to do this room again.
It's fine, now you have arrows.
That's not gonna help me here. Actually, who wants to kill these pricks? Get away from the heart. Let's go over there. Okay, now that I have that, I can actually bring this out. The thing with the arrows is that they only do the amount of damage that the white sword does. So technically, I could do more damage to the sword, but that ball's getting closer to it. Also, the fun thing is, oh hey, you just beat that really hard room. Oh, it's next room.
Just never to use any more arrows, though.
Ah!
Just don't pick up those rupees. You stupid motherfucker! You ruined it! Thank you. God damn it. Why
So yeah,
you do it?
you do that. Now you have to fight a three-headed... You have to fight a Ghidorah.
You get to fight a fucking Ghidorah, like, not even subtle. Like...
Okay.
Oh god, that was rough.
Yeah, okay, now I gotta remember. There's a bunch of locked doors, I'm trying to remember which is the one that I actually need to go into. Because one you don't, and the other has something nice in it.
Go south.
Yep. Whew. I need to go south if I want to beat the level, but I'm not quite done yet.
Wait, you just... Okay, I was just saying, like... Picking a random one of the two locked doors.
Oh! It's actually going north, also.
Oh, Jesus! So slow.
Also, I think this... also, just to keep up with the different themes, I believe 4 is supposed to be the lion, and this is supposed to be... the lizard, I think?
Sure.
No, 8 is the lion. 4 was the drag? Oh, this. Okay, that room.
This one is the dragon.
This does not look like a dragon.
Okay. God. I didn't want to do that. I mean, it's not like I don't have a butt ton of keys. Here. So now...
This incredibly important weapon.
Yeah, so the wand. The wand, actually, the thing with them giving it to you, so basically that's what it does. Basically, you can shoot Wizard Magic at not quite the same strength. So the main use for this weapon actually is not in this game or this configuration, because since I'm getting it so late, it actually has lost its usefulness. The main use of the wand is if you're doing a swordless run, or if you're doing a randomizer. Because this is the only other weapon that you can use, I think, because this basically is a sword that you can have on demand. Like, it's basically a second sword. Particularly a second white sword.
Okay, but also with a certain item it becomes low-key the best weapon.
But that's also another randomizer thing, but that's for just a different setting.
It is beautiful, and I miss it.
No, we don't get rocket launcher in this version.
I miss the rocket launcher.
Oh, God.
Oh my god, Lola, why you do this to me specifically?
So one of the options in these Legend of Zelda randomizer is to turn it so that, so, you know how there's the Bible? Basically, what the Bible does in this game is basically turns it so that when you shoot the wand, if it'll turn into when you connect with something, it'll turn into fire. The quote-unquote rocket launcher basically means so that it will turn into a bomb explosion instead of fire, which makes it incredibly broken.
Yes. The Bible is known for powering magical items.
Okay.
That is a core belief in the Bible is magic.
Look, just my faith in Jesus gave me this powerful rocket launcher.
Okay. Damn. Okay. Okay, so... Got it. Okay, so here's the reason why I need to get the arrow. Here's the boss. It's a Goma.
Goma.
It's dead.
Rude.
Yeah, so you can only kill that thing by shooting it in the eye of an arrow. In fact, there's a hint in one of the levels that says, aim at the eye of Goma.
As if you're supposed to know.
Also, here is where there would be a, this is, like, one of the two really confusing levels to get to, or the next one, because, there was a hint in one of the levels I didn't get to, that basically says, there is a secret where fairies don't live. Oh, that's fine. Okay, so I need 9 more rupees, I think? Also, you know, maybe I shouldn't be using arrows to get the 1 rupee.
Why not?
Okay, I just need more. Okay.
I appreciate how many times you fire off a sword shot and then immediately get fucked up in the face.
Yeah. Okay, so if we go to that one shop that we uncovered. This direction. Good. I have exactly the amount.
You lucky fucker.
Also, wait. I just remembered something.
Yeah.
There's a shop I can get it for 80.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, I remember it being lower in price.
Does it matter?
I want those 20 rupees.
Lolo is a cheap piece of shit.
I'm being efficient.
And then after this adventure, you'll use your ill-gotten gains
to
buy your own cave, and then close it off from the world, just like everybody else. Heaven forbid you want to leave your place at any point.
You're basically dark hole that doesn't have anything in it. Except for 2 fires that, for some reason...
Look, the fires light the place and I got righty, so you know what? That's all that matters.
Okay. So, here's a lake. Looks like those lakes that the fairies live in. Set a recorder, and lake dries up, and we can go to level 7.
Damn, that's real fucked up, dude.
So level 7 actually is one of the easier levels.
Maybe you're one of the easier levels.
Well, that's just rude.
Also, one thing about it is that there's a lot of spots where you can bomb. Yeah, because the most difficult enemies in here, except for there's a few areas where they put like dig doggers. I think there's one here. Nope. But yeah, these Gorias are the only real enemy in here, except for I think if there's anything, it's like Keese or something really simple. These enemies that do barely any damage at this point. I don't think I need that. Okay, so, the meat that I just picked up. Supposedly if you, like, in the manual it would say, oh, you can use this to attract enemies, except it doesn't do anything. You do this, you get the meat, plop it on the ground, it does absolutely nothing. But it does have a very important use. So basically that's supposed to be like in the Western version, it's basically just, it says on screen, grumble, grumble, but it's basically supposed to be his stomach rumbling. So what we do, just pop it on his face, and he goes away. Also look at that level design. Okay. Now, if we do this, and here actually is the item of the level. It's the red candle. At this point in the game, that's completely useless. Okay. Also, I don't mind burning a few keys. Also, he's a bit stronger dig dogger. Because it breaks up into 3, not 2. Or not one, rather. And then we do this. Yep, I think that's it. Now we get to... Let me go over here. We can fight the horrible, terrible boss of this level. It's one of the harder bosses in the game. I probably should have gotten a red potion. JK, it's another Aquamentus. Swipe, swipe. Alright, and now we only have one more level to go. Now, unfortunately, we need to go on the other side of the map. Oh, actual... I think there's actually a fast travel I can get to speed this up. Oh, whoops, and, well, doesn't make a difference.
Soon we will be free.
And go over here. Here. Here, and here. Got the candle. And now we are in level 8.
Finally, it's time to end it.
Not quite.
Shit!
Okay, so go over here. Screw up the timing again. Okay, what? Go over to it and whack it. Also, yeah, it'll be like blue dark dust because there's a lot of them in here. Also, I think that in level 7, also.
We did it, we finally found it. We found Jesus.
And here's what it does.
Amen, motherfucker. God, I always get bubbles confused with anti-berries.
I think they kind of became each other at some point.
Yes and no.
Because I know when they first came.
Past.
Yeah, because I know they're different in Link to the Past, but Didn't, like, one of them just, they stopped putting them in?
I know Ocarina of Time had bubbles, but it didn't have anti-fairies. I think bubbles were the ones that kind of persisted the longest. Because remember those floating skeletons with the wings on them in the flame?
Kinda.
Yeah, those were bubbles.
Huh. Yeah, I actually don't have a whole lot of memory of Ocarina of Time.
I played it a fair bit as a kid, but also because it shares a lot of assets with Majora's Mask, which is why I remember more.
Yeah, Majora's Mask is one that I know even less than about that one than I do about Ocarina.
I would highly recommend you try it at some point, like go through it. Because it is the most unique Legend of Zelda experience.
Alright, so if we go... Oop. Also blue Goma. Takes 3 arrows. Now if we go over here... I do love the little... just how unceremoniously they just kind of go... God. This sucks. Oh, actually, I think I can do it from here. Go. And now when I go in here... get the magical key... and I no longer have to worry about keys at all. I now have infinite keys. So I always wondered as a kid, why does it turn it into an A? Or counter into an A? So apparently it mentions in the Japanese manual that actually it's supposed to stand for Almighty.
Bullshit!
I mean, that's what's said. I've seen a scan of it.
Pretty sure it's just a digit.
Oh, God. Uh-oh. Also, God, there's also some weird things that you can do. So I mentioned that there's item pools, kind of, that determine what gets dropped when you kill an enemy. There's also a thing that if you kill... So it keeps like a counter of how many enemies you've killed. That determines like what index on the table that you get when you kill an enemy. When the index is on 10, and you kill an enemy with a bomb, it will always drop bombs. Also, there's something, if you kill 16 enemies in a row without getting hit or something, it'll always drop a fairy. Okay, now... here... and here's the boss. Four-headed Gleeok. I can just face tank because I have so many heart containers.
You say that.
I say that.
But,
Got it.
Oh, that was uncomfortably close.
Also now...
I hate this. Ah, God, the worst part is the sound effect.
Alright, so now that we have all the pieces of the Triforce, we can now go to level 9. Which is located nowhere near here. Well, kind of. Actually, it's not as far as what I thought. Okay, so I forgot where it is, but there's a hint somewhere that says, like the eyes of Ganon are found in Spectacle Rock or something to that ilk. Oh, right here. So we need to find Spectacle Rock.
Does it look like glasses?
Oh, we'll see. Okay, so it should be up here. Okay, so this is Spectacle Rock. It is in fact supposed to look like glasses.
It doesn't.
It doesn't, but it's supposed to. Also conveniently, there is a potion shop right next to the last level.
It's one short of the ideal number.
I think it's in the left one? Yep. Alright, so...
Time to end it.
Okay, so if I came here without the full Triforce, there would be a guy here saying, hey, you need the Triforce, or something like that.
It's like, hey, go back and get the freaking Triforce, you know.
Okay, so one thing about level 9 is that it's huge.
Yes.
Again, thankfully, the fact that I had this game memorized like the back of my hand means that it won't be the hours that you can take if you are not familiar with this level's layout.
I believe in you. Oh yeah, this area is also a douchebag.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So how long will it take then, given your...
I don't think... I would probably take like 10 minutes.
Oh, thank Christ.
Oh no, it's not going to take too terribly long. I mean, this level's... I mean, it takes a while to get through it, but... not as long as it could. I don't need to kill that thing right now.
Just not gonna deal with this shit today.
Okay, now is it this one? Because yeah, the thing with this level that also sucks is that you need to bomb everywhere.
Yeah, and you're also down to one.
Which, that's unfortunate, but I can handle it. Whoop. Ow.
What a rude boy!
Ow!
I love when they go to town on your ass.
Yeah, thankfully the enemies in this level are of the type that will tend to drop bombs. Well, tend to. They will drop bombs. Oh, god damn it.
You say that, but...
Here...
Thankfully you got a little guys in here.
Yeah, those won't drop bombs. I don't think they won't drop bombs either. So these are Patras. They kind of suck. Ah, good.
Do these little guys drop hearts?
They don't. I don't think those things will drop anything. God damn it.
This is how.
There we go. And then... Oh. I missed my hit select to switch items.
God damn it.
Here we go. Okay,
Oh,
so...
this is hell.
Oh, good. Now, thankfully we just... Oh, let's play it safe.
No, don't be a quitter. You fucking chump. Why do you do this to me? Why do you specifically do this to me?
I don't have to do this from the beginning of the level.
I would forgive you if you started cheating more.
I can do it.
Look, all I'm saying is I wouldn't judge you.
Well, hopefully it will be a little bit easier, because... this.
Sorry, did you ever buy the other ring?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So the red ring, now my damage, now the damage I take is reduced to a quarter instead of a half.
My god.
Which definitely makes this dungeon a lot easier. Okay, now do it here. This guy's basically saying, go to the next room. Which I will by doing this. Okay. Because yeah, those things... Yeah, those things, yeah, these things now only doing half heart is really nice.
Yeah, my favorite part is when they teleport into you.
Okay. Here. Now here's the problem, is that there's two paths I need to go down. I keep on confusing which one I need to go down first.
Only one way to find out.
I believe it is this one.
Oh, wow, that's a really good key.
Yeah, they still give you keys in case you didn't find the magical key, which is nice.
They give them sparingly.
Yeah, because I think even if I go down the wrong path, I think I can still...
Salvage it.
Yeah. Oh, yep, I did. This is the right path. So go
You can tell
here.
because it sucks.
So I go in here. God damn it. Okay, you know what? Oh, that's right. We can't use the. Thank you, Christ.
The greatest gift of them all. Bullshit.
Okay, so here is very important item. This is the silver arrow.
I love poverty.
So the silver arrow is required to beat the game.
It's gonna be poor forever.
I have 30 arrows. I only need, or 30 rupees. I only need one.
Nobody likes whiz robes. They're always the worst.
Okay, now if I go here...
They
No
are.
matter what game they are in, they are the fucking worst.
And honestly, if I lost my shield at this point, that wouldn't actually matter, because I don't think I need it anymore.
Yeah, you've kind of just stopped needing them. Because anything that would be worth blocking isn't here anymore. That was a fucking letdown.
Hold on, because I need to go over here.
Well, yeah, it's just they didn't drop anything, is what I mean.
Okay, now I go up here. Here.
God, this fucking dungeon loves Wiz robes.
Yep. I'm sorry, what?
Fuck you, and fuck your face.
Okay. There. Okay, so... Oh, right. Now, if I remember correctly, that's the last room with Wizrobes.
Fucking hopefully.
Hallelujah. But now the next room has 20 blue dog nuts.
And 70 likes.
Nope. So, if I remember correctly, you go in here. So, also one thing I should mention is that the entire level is basically the shape. So, it's kind of hard to see from here, but this entire level is the shape of a skull.
My favorite animal.
And basically, we are about to go into the left eye.
My other favorite animal.
Okay, so let's do this. Okay, let's get prepared. Go in here. And it's Ganon. And now we need to swipe randomly in the air because we don't know where he's at.
And there's actually no way to know where he's at besides where the magic is coming from.
Yep. Also, he has the strongest, his attack does 4 damage without a ring. Okay, so I've hit him 3 times. Turns red, hit him with Silver Arrow. And there's Triforce of Power.
Pile of gore.
Yep. And then there's this, and lo and behold.
Can we stab her? Can we get the bad ending?
Nope.
Damn it! What's even the fucking point, game? Why would you
do this right?
To me specifically? What if I done wrong, you son of a bitch?
Also, another little tidbit: Zelda's dress color changes based on what ring you have.
Arigato Rinku. It's basically thank you, Link. You are the hero of Hyrule.
Alright!
Yes. This concludes the story.
Hey Zelda, you wanna go live in a hole?
Like everyone else.
I'll block off the entrance just like you like it.
So, yep. Basically, this is... So... What that is saying is... Actually, let me actually get what it actually is saying. Here. Basically, finally, pieces restored to Hyrule. This ends the story. That was when Zelda was on screen. And this is saying... Another quest will start now. Please press the start button.
Oh no. Oh no! Not
So
again.
here's the thing that's really weird about, or that's actually really fascinating about this game when you think about it. So when I go, so now it's loading, and it actually is saving my data as well. So I have a sword next to my icon now. This has a complete other quest. So a new, I wouldn't even call it a new difficulty level. It's new, and there's 8 new dungeons. The overworld's different. It's an entirely new game, basically. The thing also about it is that it's also a very difficult game. The second quest does not pull any punches at all. But, so yeah, I don't feel like going through that entire thing tonight.
Oh.
But one thing I will actually show off. Let me make sure, just for a point of comparison, if you are actually not familiar with the first Zelda. Let me just do this, and then let me do this. Also, if you want to do this for yourself in a way that you're probably easier to get a hold of. This is the version that most people are probably more familiar with. Yeah, this is the like English version of the game.
Elimination mode.
Let's just do this. Oh, actually, no, what am I doing? So yeah, you don't have the Japanese characters. However, if you want to go straight to the second quest, you just type your name as Zelda, and you'll go straight to it.
Okay, but what if Zelda was a girl? This is an important question, Lolo. Answer me, damn it.
Zelda is a girl.
What if Zelda was a girl? Yes, why can't Metroid crawl?
Okay, so also just another sound difference. That's what the sword sounds like. Got some definite difference in sound.
This quest looks exactly different. Completely different.
Well, if I go over here...
Yes.
So level 1's in the exact same spot as it normally would be. But things have changed a little bit.
I'm not seeing it.
The big changes are, well, one, the layout of the level is completely different. Damn it. Ooh, good. I don't think I can bomb that up. Oh, I can. Is this where it actually takes me to the boss? Oh, I don't have any keys. Ah, good. Also, the boss next door noise.
Ah yes, the boss next door.
Well, next door. Oh, damn it. Also, since I've already shown off Zelda, I don't need to play fair now. Also, just to show how much these rooms suck when you don't have a magical shield. You're basically doing bullet hell.
Doing dick diddly damage.
Whoop.
This dumb looking fucker.
Fucking dragon unicorn.
Make up your goddamn mind.
So yeah, that's the... Let me go... I'm gonna go back in once I get the Triforce. Hopefully I can actually get the map. Oh, here's one big difference. Stealth foes. They now shoot swords.
Oh
I
boy.
see.
Also, the thing with those swords is that it's the exact same sword that Lionel's shoot out.
Oh no.
Meaning they do 2 damage.
Who gave these skeleton a gun?
So, yeah, that's the
Let
thing,
fucking
is that
die.
enemies, some enemies have different, like, attacks, I guess. The little snake enemies are also more resilient. Also, there's new types of bubbles. There's red bubbles and blue bubbles. Red bubbles permanently take away your sword. Blue
What?
bubbles cure your. Also, there is a new room type in some dungeons, which are the what was it? Leave your money or life rooms, which are if you you get locked into the room and you either leave 50 rupees or a permanent loss of a heart container.
What a dick move.
What the heck?
Also, there's also a new door type, which is the invisible door. Which, basically, it would look like one of these walls right here, except you would need to rub your face against it and you would just walk through it.
That's pretty garbage.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Okay.
Seems
So
like
this
crap.
is where Mr. McMilton gets his justification for Isaac.
I hate you so much less.
What?
I mean,
Yeah.
that was great, but also fuck you.
Also, what you need. So,
E
Oh.
for end my life.
all the dungeons, so the first 5 dungeons spell out Zelda. There is then a dungeon in the shape of Link's head. Then there is 2 levels that are in the shape of spirals, and then the last level is in the shape of Ganon's head. So yeah, yeah, that is basically the second quest.
Can we just leave this hell forever?
Yes, we can.
Thank you.
If the ranking for this ever gets invalidated, I'll probably take a look at the second quest. Like this.
Honestly, I would just as strictly by the main one, though.
What was that?
I said I would strictly just judge this by the main quest, though, just because
Yeah.
the second quest is more like,
It's like a hard mode that.
it's like icing on the cake. It's not like what you're coming there
It's
for,
like-
but yeah.
The Super Mario Brothers 2 version.
Yeah, kinda. I can kind of see that.
But like it's a side thing. Like it is a side benefit, but it's not the main reason you're there.
Yeah.
Unless you're a fucking weirdo.
Yeah. So, I probably would put this above Guardian Legend.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
So this is going to be 2, 3, 1. The Legend of Zelda. Episode 9. 1986. By Nintendo. NES. It is an ARPG. Atonal, I'd guess.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh gee, OST.
It only really had one song, it felt like.
I mean, it had one level song, it had one overworld song. But the overworld songs, I mean, it's the theme to Zelda.
Yeah.
It has to at least be a B. Also, the title music is really good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say A. I would probably definitely say B. World building.
C at best.
C, yeah.
Doesn't really do anything with it.
I'm trying to think. There are some neat things that it did with the dialogue, particularly in the Japanese version, but if you're playing the English version, it just feels kind of there.
Just
Janky.
drops you in a random world with 99 other links.
Fucking no. Ever.
No.
No. Why would you do this? It'll hurt you.
So yeah, I can give it a C. Okay, craft's gonna be weird because age is gonna take a
age is a different thing.
Age is a different thing, but nah.
Oh, the game plays. I would give it at the very least a C. Like the game plays.
Yeah, because I wouldn't. There is some bullshit that it does, but I would not like. It is pretty basic for what it is, especially considering later games. But I mean, the idea of like blowing up certain doors where there's no marking on where it would be, and having things just be and having just some things that just kind of like come out of nowhere. I would probably give it a C.
Yeah.
Also, enemy design or enemy AI is non-existent. They just walk around.
So it's manageable enough, and you can play it just fine.
Yeah.
It's just gonna take a lot of time if you're doing it.
Also, there's no debate on that.
That's a gimme.
No.
For age, I would say like C or D.
I'm thinking because I was trying to think because I'm trying to think.
I would say D because of the sheer level of bullshit it tries to pull.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Because that's what I put for D. The game's mechanics have shown signs of age and might not make sense to modern players.
Yeah, because if I'm fresh, I would. Yeah, secret doors would drive me up a wall.
Touch, I also might put D as well.
Yeah, no, because of the same problem, and also it's just fucking rough by the end.
Yeah. Like, even on the first quest, like, level 9 is a nightmare if you don't know where you're going.
Yeah, no, like, Max actually has some pretty good input here, because she went through it relatively recently, for the first time.
Okay, yeah, because, I mean, I've been playing it since I was a kid, and basically as long as I've been playing games, and yeah, I will definitely agree that it is rough. So yeah, let's just do this. So yeah, we now have some sticking points to go to. I have a feeling that this one's going to be at the bottom for a very long time.
I don't think it'll stop being at the bottom, but the very bottom, yeah, that'll probably change.
There's a few that I can think of that probably go lower than it. But yeah, that is a no, that the game that I'm thinking of is going to be in the Delve list. Which I just remembered I'm going to have to rank that. Another Famicom Disk System game.
Should have a Hall of Lame for all the worst ranked games.
Actually, well, Yeah, that won't be it for a while because like,
we'll worry about that when we fill out the list more.
Why
I
not?
mean, because
I'm
like,
just
what's
saying.
that? I mean, that for the Resistance list is probably going to stay for a while.
Dragon Ball was a fucking experience.
I mean, that was a bootleg, and Last
It was
Fire Twin is the only
aggressively
game that I've had glitched so much that I couldn't beat it. Yeah, those are going to stay there for a while. I don't think I had any. The other games in like the list are. I mean, they're not that caliber. One. Okay, Street Fighter might be the only one I can think of
no,
that is.
It
that
was
caliber.
it was great because like Giant Bomb did a 30th.
Oh yeah,
Laser
I
Lucid
watched
30th
that.
Collection.
That was that was great.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, basically coming to the same conclusions that we came to.
Also, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is fucking incredible.
Yes, it is.
Because I bought it after the stream and I've played it a shitload and it's so good.
Also, apparently, things that I did not realize that were in that game. And I'll just leave it at that, just so that in case anyone watched that episode and don't want to get it spoiled. There are things you can do to characters that I did not realize you could do.
Yes, there are. It's
Uh-oh.
pretty good and pretty fun, actually.
Yeah. But, yeah, with that, yeah. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much all I really have to say about Zelda. I mean, it's the original. It definitely shows its age, but I mean, it's not that bad of a game.
It's still alright. It holds up to some extent. It's just, it is old, and it shows it's fucking old.
Yeah. So, yeah, with that, yeah, thank you for watching my playthrough of it. If you would like to keep up to date with Retro Rank Rhapsody, you can follow me on Twitter at LoloThePuzzlo, or join my Discord server by going to the URL discord.ldp.life. Thank you for watching, and I hope you stop by again.